Hi, I'm a duck named Steve. I used to have a job as a toll booth attendant until I got fired, so now I review things. I left this gem of a movie with a massive plot hole regarding the Resistance escaping to the moon Crait. Wonderful. But let's wrap this movie up. So warm up those chimichangas and start baking those brownies because we're filling boxes tonight, kids. You know, by the way, I do like whenever the First Order decides to start blowing up the transports. This is just great. One transport pilot contacts Admiral Holdo and says, "Hey, should we turn around?" She goes, "No, you got to stay on course." Then he gets blown up. Well, okay. What are the other transports going to do? They didn't hear the conversation. Is Admiral Holdo reaching out to them and saying, "Oh, by the way," no, she doesn't do any of that. So, I mean, at the same point I'm going, are these guys going to scatter? No, they're just mindless sheep that keep going. All right, let's go back to the Rey and Snoke OnlyFans scene. I don't want to spend much time on this. There have been so many other videos that have reviewed the choreographed garbage fight between Rey, Kylo Ren, and the Praetorian Procreation Guard. I'll just add an observation. There are 8 guards if you count them. 5 of them move towards Rey, while 3 move towards Ren. Not all 5 engage Rey at once, but at somewhat separate times. One of them looks like he even runs away after the initial engagement. The best shot is that 3 converge on her lightsaber at once. 3. She kicks one of them, and all 3 fall back. Not just one, but all 3. I mean, explain this to me. Oh my gosh, such fucking garbage. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Admiral Holdo is watching her transports get destroyed, and rather than doing what any good commander admiral would do, which would be to adjust the course of your cruiser to provide cover to the transports via your shields. Your plan has been foiled, and at this point, the best thing to do is allow them safe transport to the planet's surface. It is what it is, right? You got found out, so you just say, okay, I'm going to cover them down, and it sucks, but, at least they'll get down to the ground and get to the base. That's what you do. That's what you... No. She says, I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to go to light speed. And I go, well, what the hell is that going to do? And before I lose my shit, I mean, how does she have enough fuel to jump to light speed? I mean, they were using what was left for the transports. So at this point, this cruiser should be just coasting on fumes. You would think light speed would be an impossibility. They barely had enough to make the one more jump at the beginning of the movie. So at this point, it should be an impossibility, right? No. As she turns the ship around, the First Order realizes what she's doing. And before they can destroy her, she punches the hammer and somehow takes out Snoke's destroyer and half the First Order fleet. What? Where to start? I'll begin with the lore. The reason you haven't seen this tactic used in any other movie, book, or comic is because in Star Wars, the ships accelerate and enter hyperspace. Okay, what is hyperspace? It's supposed to be an alternate dimension that allows ships to travel faster than the speed of light. That's why the ships had hyperdrives. They would enter these hyperspace lanes so that they could travel long distances and explore the galaxy. This, as a concept, helps address 2 what I'll call nerdy items that fans would bring up. Number 1, the fact that the speed of light is relatively slow when talking distances across the galaxy. So when they refer to light speed, they really mean hyperspace. Think about it. The closest star to Earth is Proxima Centauri. Traveling at light speed, it would still take us 4.25 years to reach it. So entering a hyperspace conduit will allow to exceed the speed of light. Thereby, you could reach it much faster. Makes sense. Second, it addresses anyone about the theory of relativity, or time dilation, whereby time moves slower for someone traveling at or near the speed of light. It's not perfect, but it's something that we can get our arms around. So when Holdo turns the stupid cruiser around and floors it, nothing should happen. It should enter hyperspace and disappear. But what Rian Johnson showed us was something that looked like what came out of me after a night of Jaeger bombs and Taco Bell. Let's look at the details. The MC-85 Star Cruiser, named the Radis, is 3,438 meters long and 707 meters wide. It's a long tube suppository ship. Snoke's ship, the Supremacy, was 13,240 meters long, but a whopping 60,543 meters wide. It's a giant boomerang. So when Holdo turned the Radis around, her shields were concentrated on the rear of the ship, meaning that when she faced the Resistance, the bow of her ship was completely exposed, while the Supremacy should have been at full shields on the bow. So even if we assume that she hit the space gas and collided with the Supremacy at a high velocity, the shields on the Supremacy should have taken the bulk of the unprotected collision from the Radis. And should the shields have failed, then what was left of the Resistance cruiser would have passed through the nearly 4 ship lengths of constructed material. Now remind you, at this point, what was left of the Raddus would have been compromised, so anything that would have ripped through the remaining parts into the Supremacy would have been reduced significantly in both size and velocity. So the Raddus, absolute best case scenario, might be able to punch a hole through the Supremacy. And also, even if this was a viable tactic, why didn't the Rebels use it in A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi? How about The Force Awakens? Because you're messing with established tradition, and now it just looks stupid. I love this scene. So Finn and Phasma fight, and this should be come to a draw type of situation where neither win, neither lose, but it should be setting up an epic battle for the third movie. I mean, that sounds like what typical character arcs do in a trilogy. It sounds right? No, wrong! Phasma knocks Finn over an edge, and she thinks that she killed him, I guess, and turns her attention to Rose. She probably knows every inch of this hangar. She should know that she knocked Finn onto some sort of lift. This is pretty basic when it comes to anyone that has worked any type of logistics, be it people, products. You know your hangars like the back of your hand. So she should have known that she knocked him onto the lift. Whether or not the lift was up or down, fine, I'll give you that. But at the same time, a trained professional would immediately confirm the kill or not kill. But then again, the First Order is stupid, and the writers of the movie think you're stupid. So there's your explanation in case you were wondering. Now, when Finn pops back up, why did he not just hit Phasma in the back of the head? I mean, that writing actually would have been believable. You are outmatched skill-wise. Take the f***ing shot. But Finn says, "Hey," before swinging at Phasma. Finn takes like the longest backswing I think I've ever seen before striking Phasma. And Phasma just stands there like, "Hey, what are you gonna do, bro?" I mean, nothing makes sense. And before you start jumping on me, look at when Rose calls out to Finn after Phasma knocks him over the edge. Phasma's able to turn around quickly and draw her blaster and shoots 3 shots in about 1.5 seconds. Now, when Finn pops up, it says, "Hey!" His backswing takes a solid second to make impact. You're telling me that a highly trained, best of the best, been in combat their whole life, couldn't redirect their blaster that's already drawn, by the way, and pop a few rounds on a Finn's guts when he's totally exposed? I mean, just like the title of this review, it's a motherfucking dumpster fire. All right, I'll give it up to this. Huck's thinking about putting a round or two into Kylo Ren made me chuckle. That's it. Moving on. Okay, the Rebel base on Crait. Here we go. It's a cave in a small mountain protected by a door. Really? I like how one of the first things that they said in this scene.
All right, shields are up so they can't hit us from orbit.
Oh, so now shields make a difference. 6 minutes earlier in this stupid movie, shields didn't count for a f***ing thing, but now it makes all the world a difference? Oh my gosh! Oh, there we go! An old Rebel base that probably hasn't been powered up since the time the Empire existed could just flip a switch. No, I can't accept this. I will not accept this. The movie has to go to hell and everybody with it. Now, the First Order wants to end the Resistance, so it brings down this big penetrator cannon that can break through any diaphragm, door, and they're about to start charging it up, and the Resistance has to send out something to stop them. So, ski speeders? They come flying out the ATM-6 walkers that are supported by TIE fighters, and your response is to send out 40-year-old lawnmowers? I mean, at this point, why not just throw rocks at the goddamn thing? I think the movie would be more interesting if they just started using harsh language as a defense. But, it worked for Admiral Holdo, right? So let's pull the same gag twice. Pieces of crap against a giant opponent, and somehow that's going to work. But finally, to the movie's credit, speeders are picked off pretty easily. With the exception of Finn, of course, who is somehow not dead, charging down the mouth of this giant cannon as his speeder is being dissolved. He's overcome his fear. He's now sacrificing himself for a cause he truly believes, and he's to save the lives of his friends. And here comes the Hobbiter, Janet, Lady Rose, and takes him out! Why? She lost someone that she loved that was doing it for the Resistance, but now all of a sudden got to stop Finn? She says something that makes no sense about love and whatever. I think she dies. Whatever, let's keep going. At this point, I just want someone to kill the Resistance. I am now pro First Order just because I want this movie to end. And then we watch the cannon fire, and I gotta admit, the explosion is actually pretty unimpressive. For this movie that seems to be really, really leaning in on explosions. I guess it's just like when General Hux slaps Finn, it's really limp-wristed explosions. It's like, oh, okay, wonderful. All right, fine, it's cleanup time, right? Hey, look who shows up! Luke Skywalker, and he got a haircut! Wait, where did he get his lightsaber? Didn't that get destroyed by Kylo Ren and Rey on the Supremacy in Snoke's chamber like 15 minutes ago? I mean, Snoke even said...
Skywalker, I assumed.
I realize this movie went balls deep into FaceTime force calls, but by which this never happened in any other movie. But after you spend half the reaching out and touching someone, you would think that someone might start to be a little skeptical when the rando shows up. Okay, so maybe Luke came in on the Millennium Falcon, that, whatever, they hate that ship. But then all of a sudden now you pummel the same piece of dirt for 5 minutes. Luke walks away without a scratch. An intelligent person might think, something doesn't look right here. Okay, let's go down to investigate closer, which Kylo Ren does. You see him pull out his lightsaber and you think, that looks exactly like the same lightsaber we destroyed 15 minutes ago. Well, you're mad. You pull out your own lightsaber and you take a swing at him and he keeps ducking. And you think, why won't he engage with me? And then you watch his movements and you notice his feet don't make right impressions in the salt sand or whatever you call it. And you think, his shoes aren't doing that, but mine do. No! That f***ing whiny man-child, big-faced Kylo Ren that suffers from forced stage fright didn't notice a single one of these damn clues. What a f***ing space millennial. And to Luke, a Jedi that somehow kills himself by making a phone call. Go f*** yourself. Your dad was cooler. Hey, thank you for watching. We hope you understand this is just satire, and we have a good time doing it. If what you saw here made you happy, please hit the like and subscribe button. And if you didn't like what you saw here, please hit the like and subscribe button, because it'd make me happy. Thanks for watching. Mahalo.